Hey, how you doing, folks? We're back in Washington, D.C. We are in the nation's capital. Today, there's a CPAC summit we'll be attending. It's on narco-terrorism, global narco-terrorisms, and the threats to American security. We'll be going to the White House later on to request an expansion, an amendment on an executive order that's already in place. As you can see, we're here in the Capitol. We have some congressmen and some senators that we need to go ask. I'm asking for a congressional oversight committee to look into the conduct of Congressman Mike Thompson. Congressman Mike Thompson is out there in Napa, California, and he's hooting and he's hollering all over the place. And he's talking about security this and harm that, when his office was tasked with conducting a congressional inquiry on my behalf. And that congressional inquiry, what he alleges, was sent to the Assistant U.S. Attorney of the United States at that time in 2024. I went to them in 2023. I exercised my concern that there was malicious conduct being discharged in the county of Napa by the arbiters, by county officials, and it was relative to exactly what we're here for, the narco security global threat groups, FTOs. At that time, the executive order hadn't been put in place that expands the list of FTOs to include the cartels and Trendy Anagua and groups like Mara Salvatrucha and things of that nature. That didn't take place until January 2025. But at the time, Congressman Mike Thompson is alleging that he was conducting a congressional inquiry. He has refused to surrender those findings. His direct report, Luca Morietti, out there in Napa, has refused to even answer the phone anymore, an email or anything. How could you initiate a congressional inquiry? You send the documentation to the constituent. You allege you reach out to the Department of Justice, to the Assistant U.S. Attorney General at the time. I think it was Ulysses Uriarte at the time. It's relative to kidnapping and murder by the cartel in San Diego. And then you just clam up. Something ain't right. Either they didn't do the congressional inquiry and allege that they did, or they're hiding it for some reason. Congressman Mike Thompson is friends with the people. They all work together in the county of Napa. The people that were the subjects of the FBI investigation. Mike Thompson is a vintner, as is Senator Dodd. And they're all tethered to these nonprofits in Napa. There's over 1,000 nonprofits in Napa. And Mike Thompson is cited on his own website giving praise to one of the individuals that works at one of these nonprofits. That individual is married to a convicted murderer. So if you go to your congressman and you can request a congressional inquiry into murders and kidnapping and the potential collusion of the people that work for the county of Napa, to include the district attorney, that's Allison Haley, her direct report, Rema Brial, that's Lauren Noga, deputy DA, that's the director of child welfare services, Veronica Piper Jefferson, one of her direct reports, Alexis Vossmeyer. Anything I'm saying here, I declare under penalty of perjury. I got the proof. But when a congressman initiates a congressional inquiry on your behalf, and they don't surrender what I think it's called the ECAT, which is like their findings, there's something going on. And right there in that building over there, that's the DC court. We have action preferred against everybody that I've just mentioned. There's action preferred in the Eastern District of Virginia. It's a 42 USC 1983 civil RICO preferred against all these individuals. There's a mandamus, a writ of mandamus in that building over there, and a habeas. Both of them have been consolidated. it's a request to the United States Department of Justice to prefer investigative findings against these people for these things. Now, if you try to get a congressman or a direct report to give you documentation through a subpoena, that they have a way to not they can bunker behind, I don't want to call it immunity, it's called something else. But you can go over here to this building and you can go to the oversight committee and you can ask them to investigate that congressman or that senator, which is what we're going to ask. Look at where we're at. What? Yeah, we're here in the nation's capital. Yeah, it's colder than heck right now. My hands are freezing. Morning, guys. And so if you're going to make a request, if you're going to ask, so I have to ask that court for a subpoena to get those findings. Where's that congressional inquiry from my representative? The investigation was supposed to be on my behalf, because at the time, the expectation was for me to go into a court and speak about information that's operational, right? They're not supposed to make you do that. And yet that's exactly what they tried to do. They were seeking to extract the information, the people that are subjects and defendants in those litigations. So today, there's several things we got to do. There's an event going on here. We have to speak to the oversight committee. We have press packets. We have the amended executive order that we're requesting be considered by the executive office. Some people are coming up here and they're trying to get a new executive order. Well, I would think the smarter thing would be like, hey, can we amend an executive order? An executive order is not a law, but it can be tethered to an existing law to reinforce it or make it more powerful. That's what happened in my circumstance on January 25th when the president came into, I was right there. On the inauguration day, I was right there with all the people. I'll post all the footage from that day, but I was there. And later on that night, the president signed an order that established that the cartels are now FTOs. They put a whole bunch of different folks on there. Tren de Anagua, Mara Salvatrucha. They put CGNG. They put Grupo Golfo, whatever, Golfo Cartel, several different, I think the Knights Templar, yada, 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 yada. Well, those groups got added onto that list. So what that means is the executive order, all it did was it strengthened an existing law. So although the executive order is not a law, it modifies the existing laws that are in place. For example, 18 USC 2339 Bravo. That makes it a crime, a federal offense, to provide material support to those foreign threat organizations. Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Tren de Anagua, Mara Salvatrucha, whatever. Any of the people that are on that list, if you're assisting them, then you can be held accountable under federal law. So we'll be going to the White House later on today. Right now, we're going for this event that's going to take place here. We got a whole bunch of keynote speakers from Mexico, from America, politicians, and they're going to talk about American sovereignty and security relative to the harm created by narco-terrorism, right? My case just happens to fit right in. So look, there's Health and Human Services, and we have some people that have action preferred against Health and Human Services as well. Whew. It is cold right now, folks. We're going. Ooh, it's cold. All right, I'll tap back in with you guys